Welcome to Real Talk Wrestling. I'm your host, Josh. With me, of course, is Clutch, Miami Clutch PE, and we have the babyface himself, Mr. Chris Koffler. If you've just stumbling along this podcast on YouTube and you see the title, the band is back, you might have thought we were talking about somebody else over on Friday night. But no, I'm talking about us. It's our first show together in over 3 weeks as a team. I had to fire Chris 1 week. It didn't work out with just me and Clutch. I had to fire him. It didn't work out with me and Chris, so I figured it's just best we all get back together. So that being said, we will be talking about some WWE. We have some Bloodline interaction, OG versus new, which I think is a great storyline. We have the Moxley takeover over there in the circus, the Mud Show over there in AEW on Wednesday nights. And then we're going to ask a simple question is what is the best or most important storyline? What did I say? Did I say most important or best?
I think
Either
you
way.
said
I think, yeah. I think you said best. I don't know. Whichever.
It's all
Which
is the best storyline from each company in your opinion? Because I'm hearing things that the Bloodline's the best storyline of all time, beats out Austin McMahon. I don't know. Maybe we could talk about that. And then the AEW side, this is why it came up, is because people are saying this is the most important storyline in AEW history with John Moxley and the takeover as they're trying to save this company. It's not working. So let's get it right into it. Let's get into WWE, the Bloodline. How are you guys doing? Actually, you know what? I didn't ask you guys. How the F are you guys doing?
better with this morning's forecast.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, much better. I don't know if you saw Clutch, but we were bracing for yet another hurricane as of about this time yesterday or 2 days ago, and now we don't have to deal with that. So I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I did not see that. Jeez.
Yep. On no joke, my storm shutters are still up on the back of the house because HOA won't bug us. And I did know there was another storm coming eventually, and I'm effing lazy. So, and plus it's been hot. I'm not trying to take storm shutters down when it's hot. It was cool this morning though. I'll tell you that it was nice and cool this morning.
All weekend.
Yeah. This is not a weather show though, but yes, I'm looking forward to it. Clutch, how you doing, man?
All good, man. Same old. Keeping up with the life stuff. That's about it.
Yeah, watching some NBA, the Miami Heat.
A bit of everything. Miserable all around.
I have been watching baseball documentary on Netflix called The Comeback about the Boston Red Sox. And I am not, if you know me, I famously tell the story all the time where I told Keith Folk that he's jealous because my brother has a better arm than him. After my brother caught we used to be massive Devil Rays fans. We would get, Chris, we would get there before like the game, before the players would get there. We would just be ready at the Trop because we love baseball so much. We would catch fly balls for batting practice because we always got there after the Rays were done batting, so we'd have to see the visitor team. Manny Ramirez, we finally caught a home run ball from him out there in right field, and we threw it back during batting practice. And Keith Folk, old closer from the Red Sox, I know you're young, Clutch, looks at us and go, "You guys are idiots." And my brother freaking one bounced that thing to second base, bro, right from right field. It's fine. And then my brother, I'm like, "You're just jealous because my brother's got a better arm than you." Because at the time, Keith Folk was failing with his pitching. Either way, fuck the Red Sox. But this is a great documentary, and I'm starting to like him, so it sucks. It sucks. But I love Kevin Millar. It's great. Like he's a great anyway. Wrestling, Bloodline, OG, they're back. What a great freaking SmackDown, Chris. I keep on telling you, week after week, SmackDown's the show finally to watch because of Roman and because of this Bloodline story. Clutch, how did you like it?
I liked it. I liked the little setup that they did where Roman didn't accept it at the start because Sammy came out, he wanted an apology, but not for him, for Jay. And Roman's like, "Nah, this is BS, dude. Like, I'm out of here. Get it. He's not family." The whole he's not family thing that they've been doing. And then like you can start seeing that even Jimmy's like starting to turn into like, "Oh, we need this guy. We need Sammy." And when they all walked away from him in the backstage segment, and it was just cool. And then they got to like the final part where, "Oh, we got a fifth guy and it's Sami Zayn." And right away I was like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. You know where this is going. But yeah, held Roman, kicked Solo in the face instead. Got their nice little moment, fingers up in the air. I want to see how they progress though, because are they fully accepting this union? Are they gonna still have tensions that need to be mended? Hopefully by Wiseman. Hopefully.
Mhm.
So yeah, interesting. I mean, the Bloodline story is back, dude. Like I love it when they're at their peak, and right now they're starting to hit it again.
They really are, Chris. If you didn't watch these clips yet already, or if you haven't sought them out on YouTube, I definitely suggest you should, because now we are stuck in the situation where they're together. It's 4-on-4. Sami Zayn, Usos, and Roman versus the new Bloodline, and they keep on talking about, now it's confirmed pretty much that there's going to be a fifth member on each side. And I just don't see a situation where adding a fifth member helps this match. And I hate to be the complainer on the show, but I complain. That's my job. That's what I do. I'm not into it. Now, as an outsider, Chris, are you just excited to see this War Games match 4-on-4, or do you want like an extra star power or an extra Cody Rhodes, if you might say? This is gonna be trash if they add someone.
Yeah, I know. I've been following along with it, and I feel like if they're gonna force a fifth, it's got to be the just right, perfect person. Don't put in a fifth person just to have a fifth person, because that will water it down a little bit. You've got the 8 most important people in there right now, so I'm interested to see who they're gonna add into the match at this point. And is it going to be like we're trying to fit a square through a circle hole here just to add a fifth, just to have our 10 guys? So I don't know. Still remains to be seen. They've been doing really good with this storyline. So I kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to find the right people to plug into it. But as of right now, it feels like it should stay a 4-on-4.
Agreed. Clutch, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of War Games matches that have been 4-on-4. I think that I don't doing 5-on-5 for the sake of 5-on-5. I don't like. I guess we saw the Bloodline already in a cage match with the War Games 2 years ago, I want to say. Or was it last year?
I can't remember.
The one where they finally accepted Sammy as a full.
I'm trying
Us.
to think. Wasn't Solo part of that as well? So it was Roman, Solo, Sammy, and the Usos.
Okay, it was 2 years. It was 2 years ago, because last year was when CM Punk came out and Randy Orton. All right, okay, yeah. This was 2 years ago, and it was all 5 of them.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense now.
Yep, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So like, I don't know what they're gonna do. I have at least like things in my mind that I'm probably gonna get into, like where I can be like, okay, they can salvage it by doing this, or that. And by adding fifth member, maybe if it doesn't make the most sense or the cleanest fit, at least there can be a connection that kind of like makes you be like, oh, okay, star power and it has a connection, fine. But like, it doesn't need a fifth member, but they're going to have it at this point. It's all but confirmed. So yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have some thoughts on who the fifth member should be for each side and who it won't be. And my suit, I wore it on Tuesday's show, Josh OUS noon. So no suit for me this week. Did you guys see that? I wore a tuxedo. It sucked. But
No, I did not see that.
I need to check that out.
I bought a tuxedo.
Let me ask you though, if and when they do squeeze in these fifth members on each side, do you think one or both of them, they're going to squeeze them in to work off this match to build their next storyline? Do you think maybe that's why they're trying to force a fifth person in?
Like with the Bloodline?
With
like another storyline with the Bloodline?
Like with one side or the other. Like if somebody's going to join and screw over his side, and that's going to set up the next story. Like, do you think that's why they're going to force these fifth people in? Because I mean, the story seems good enough. Like you're saying, adding some star power. Like it seems like it's got plenty of star power. So what would be the angle? What would be the purpose? And that's the only thing I can really think of.
Here's the purpose. Here's the purpose. I'm going to stop you because this is exactly what's going to happen. And I'm telling you guys now, this is not this is a spoiler. This is not a prediction. Cody's going to be added to the good guy side, and Kevin Owens is going to be to the bad guy side. And then once Cody beats them, once Cody helps Roman, once this is all ending, this will when The Rock comes in and kicks Solo out, and then The Rock and Cody and Rock and all that will happen. So yes, Chris, this is all going to forward. Cody, Rock, Roman for WrestleMania. This when the new Bloodline loses, Solo was getting kicked out. They're letting Fatu talk more. He's getting his promo time. He's directing. He is speaking directly to Roman himself, which you never saw Solo do. Right? You never saw Solo do that in his position. So they're priming Jacob Fatu to take over under the Rock's telling him, "Hey, you are the leader now," and this is where it's going. It's going in a direction where Jacob's going to be the main star because he is a star. Even though Solo's improving, Solo's doing great. But Solo
Much
will be
better.
kicked out. Yes, Solo's doing great now. Solo will be kicked out because of The Rock, which will yes. And I don't because what is Cody doing right now at Survivor Series? Nothing. He's doing jack spit. Nothing. But he's feeding with Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens just murdered Randy Orton with the most vicious pile driver of all time. I don't know if you saw that, Chris. It was devastating. It was beyond devastating. So he's out for a very long time. So this leaves Kevin Owens and Cody to do something. It's too late in the game to set up a world championship match. Why would they give him a world championship match? He didn't earn one. He just took out a top star. Why would Nick Aldis or anyone say, you know what, you guys fight for the world title? The only way for Kevin to get his hands on Cody is to join Solo's team. And that's going to happen. And I'm not looking forward to it at all. To me, it feels like when Pac was just inserted into Blood and Guts one year. Remember, to help Don Callis? It's like, why? What's the point?
So Kevin's going to kind of be the odd man out here, the one that really doesn't belong. That I mean, just to even out the teams essentially, because you're saying they're going to build a story off the Cody side, which means Kevin's the one that's just kind of inserted to balance out the teams. Yeah, he's got a light connection to the story, but
no, he's got a big connection. Sammy, why you siding with Cody over me? That could be incorporated because they're best friends. Obviously, we know that. Kevin Owens has been involved with Roman trying to dethrone Roman. The whole reason why he's mad at Cody is because he's teaming with Roman. That's the biggest problem with Kevin right now. Hey, we're helping you out. We all band together to help you take down the tribal chief. And now all of a sudden you're teaming with him at in Atlanta in that show over there, Bad Blood. F you, dude. F you. You just spit in our faces because everything we did for you meant nothing because now you're helping him get back everything that we just took from him. So Kevin's pissed at Cody for that. So that's why he's there. So it makes sense. I just don't want to see it. Clutch it. Are you on board with me? Are you down for this?
No, I agree with you. I don't want to see it. I have 3 scenarios that I have for this extra person thing. If I don't know if now's the time or you want me to just hold off on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the likely scenario, then there's my dark horse scenario, and there's the dream scenario.
Ooh,
so the likely one's the obvious one, the one that you said. Mm-hmm. That, and I think we're around the time where probably Rock is coming back to get involved. Netflix is around the corner. Mm-hmm. I'd be shocked if he wasn't on the first show on Netflix. So we're getting to that point. Plus, you said it. Last time we saw Cody, he was in the back of the ambulance with Randy. So he wants to get back at KO. KO has no claim to the world title match. So how are they going to fight? Probably, and they're not going to keep Cody off of Survivor Series. So how are they going to fight? War Games. You just insert it. I know KO's been fighting the Bloodline for a while, so him teaming with this Bloodline to fight the old Bloodline, I don't know. But
let me ask you something. Can I interrupt real quick to add to that? Kevin Owens' great heels are all hypocrites. That's so true. Him being mad at Cody for teaming for Roman is just as hypocritical as Kevin teaming with Solo. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, now you're willing to team up something to do what you want. So yeah, I'll get it. All right, continue. Sorry.
The KO connection is very interesting though. I do like the K because there is a connection with Sammy. Mm-hmm. And like you said, he's been pissed at Cody for your teaming with Roman now. How pissed is he going to be when his best friend does the same thing? And that's where I guess the connection can be interesting there. I think KO's more interesting for the match than Cody is, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Okay. That was long-winded as hell. The middle one, the dark horse that would be Seth Rollins. And with the obvious connection of Roman, the Shield, all that shit. And then on the other side, I guess probably be Bronson Reed. Which, I mean, teaming with the Bloodline, no sense. But Dark Horse, I think that's one of them. Because, I mean, both Bloodlines tried to recruit Seth on Monday. And Seth basically looked at Sammy and said, dude, are you effing crazy? And it was funny as hell. But, like, the reason I don't see it, and it's not like a favorite for me, is because Seth he sacrificed his world title. He sacrificed his knee to keep Roman out of that position of power. And now he's going to team with him just because Sammy asked or whatever reasoning they're going to do. So I don't like that. Here's the crazy dream scenario. Like insane dream scenario for me. Fifth man for the Solos team, The Rock. Fifth man for Team Bloodline, and it's not the cleanest fit, but there is a connection. CM Punk. Connection, Paul Heyman. They need a guy. Paul Heyman comes. I know a guy. That's how they do it. And
Can you access the private chat on StreamYard?
oh, I see it.
Okay.
That was your prediction.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm like, because
No.
that would make sense too. Same situation, just switch out the superstar. One's just not.
Paul Heyman does know that guy too, so
yeah, he knows that guy.
He knows that guy.
Star power.
I would say CM Punk because he doesn't have anything going on right now. You would think he would be at the 1 year anniversary of his return. I thought it was gonna go to Punk and Gunther at Survivor Series, and seems to be going with Priest. I don't think it would be a triple threat, so I think he's out of that spot. So, yeah, he has to do something. I think he has to be at Survivor Series. I think somebody even told me like that he's advertised for the show. So that's why, like, that's my dream scenario. You have Punk on one side, Rock on the other. Just star power on star power. Add the story of the Bloodline. Fun stuff.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thank you, Christopher Leclerc, for subscribing on your phone. Thank you so much. If you guys are watching right now, I see a lot of you guys watching right now. You like what we're talking about, hit that subscribe button, and don't be afraid to comment down below. Who do you want to see the fifth member for the Bloodline versus the OG? If you don't want to know Brock would be cool though. Would Brock Lesnar not be cool? Like Paul Heyman comes out and, but Brock, let's be honest here. Rock is less likely to do this match over any of these guys because he's not doing that. He's a Hollywood star. He's not going into a cage match.
I was convinced of the same thing that you were until a friend of mine pointed out to me, is like, well, he can just do the Randy thing. Show up, hit an RKO. That's it. Be the last person out. Hits a rock bottom.
Then they win. But then they win because we all think, at least I think, the OG's winning. You don't get these guys back together to have them lose.
I mean, yeah, they did lose at Crown Jewel, so.
But now the guys are really back together. That's what we wanted. I'm not gonna say we didn't care because we did, but we didn't really start caring until Sammy came back. Sammy Uso. I mean,
that was cool, man. That was cool. They even did like the little funny spot that he tried to do, is like, oh, Jay's the hater of the year. We're like having fun, whatever, and he's like making Roman laugh. I missed that shit. Yeah,
it's good stuff, man. It's really, 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 really good stuff. I don't want to go over to the bad stuff yet. I really don't. Don't make me talk AEW. But we might lose Christopher Leclerc from subscribing if we talk about AEW. So hey, stay here where we don't talk AEW much anymore. Which we should talk about the chemistry, the whatever is going on in Tony Khan's head. It needs to be studied. What the hell is he thinking half the time he does stuff? I don't know. I'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. NXT just went to their night and took over their night and just did better ratings. And
Dave Meltzer had excuses about why, and I believe in Dave. So you chill out, Clutch.
What was the Dave excuse for that? Like, I don't know how you excuse that.
Let me look it up again because there was an excuse. Dave Meltzer NXT beat AEW is exciting for the listeners. Excuse.
Why you looking it up?
Yeah, there was one. He did come out with one, and I saw it, and maybe it was maybe it was like something made up or something like that. But he did unfair advantage. Oh, that was July. Never mind. But he did make an excuse. I promise you guys, and it's okay. It's fine.
Did you see that Dave Meltzer got punked by somebody by a fake
yes,
account?
yes.
About backlash in Japan
In Tokyo, the
in the Tokyo Dome.
And Dave Meltzer reported it like right away.
I can guarantee you that man had a stroke seeing that WWE was going to the Tokyo Dome.
Here's a direct quote from Dave Meltzer. This is hilarious. This is great. NXT beat AEW last night, 619K, and he posted a demo of 0.17 for NXT, 525K, 0.168 demo for AEW. NXT has the edge, being in 9% more homes as a network station.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Sorry, Bobby. So 9%. So 9%. I love Sky Blue and Julia Hart as well, Christopher. If you guys can't see the chat, Julia Hart had a great video package, by the way, on Dynamite. That was really good.
You know, I actually saw that.
Super good,
and I was into it.
Yeah, I was into it too for many reasons, but mainly because I like to see the band back together, as we're all back together. So, all right, we're heading into Revolution. Before we get into the debacle of Moxley, which if you're into that kind of thing, that's cool. I used to be too until it got bad. Revolution to me was their biggest show of the year. I believe. I think it was the biggest show of the year. Do you agree with that, Chris? You were there since day one.
Are you saying like this year or in general?
No, in general. This is their always biggest show of the year. Like that's their version of their WrestleMania.
It's, I guess, the closest thing. They don't really have a defined.
But now it's All In back because they brought All In.
Yeah,
right?
I would say now they're trying to push All In as the best show, but I feel like All Out's been better both times. They push All In more, but All Out has been better.
Right, but they're now All In is now they're trying to be their biggest show. So let me go break down the Revolution main events from the very first Revolution of all time. So we started with in 2020 Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship match. Do you think that is a main event for a pay-per-view, Chris?
For then, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, for then. Then 2021, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match.
Sparklers.
We know. We remember, Clutch.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a main event kind of match. Okay. 2022, we have Hangman Page versus Adam Cole for the AEW World Championship. At that time, Christopher Leclerc says Full Gear is the bigger show. See, we could all have different opinions because they always put on bangers. Let's be honest. They always put on bangers for pay-per-views. So anyway, Hangman Page and Adam Cole. Chris, at the time, was that a pay-per-view main event?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with you. Clutch, do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. At the time. 2023, MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship.
Yep.
All right. Main event. All right. Last year, Sting and Darby Allin versus the Bucks in Sting's retirement match. Main event worthy?
Sting retirement match? I would say yeah.
Okay. I would say so too. This year we get fucking Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy. What the fuck, man? I'm sorry. If you are a fan of him, I get it. But what the fuck?
You're talking about the show coming up?
Yeah, that's the main event, right? That's the main event. That's the world title match.
That is, but Revolution, what Chris is saying there, Revolution is not the one that's coming up.
Oh, it's Full Gear coming up? God damn it.
It's Full Gear, so your argument is out the window.
That's how much I pay attention to AEW these
days. Full Gear is always in November. I was wondering where you were going with that.
God damn it.
But Revolution's like in March.
All right, let me look up. God damn it. God damn it.
There goes his
entire point.
I know, his whole build up there.
Fuck you guys. Sorry, Bob. I'm not even sorry for that. I'm really not even sorry for that. Because, holy shit, dude. Jon Moxley's main evented 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 Full Gears. That's insane. Oh, no, we're counting this
Mr. Full Gear.
Hold on.
Okay, so read us the Full Gear ones now.
Hold on. Where's the I need that fucking Men in Black thing. You guys didn't see any of that. So, none of that happened. All right. 2019.
Listen, you would never make it in Tony's AEW because they only do one cut there. You would never survive.
All right. Let's get back on track here. 2019, Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega in an unsanctioned lights out match.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Main event.
2020, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match for the AEW World Championship. At the time, I say yes. At the time,
Yeah,
Eddie
I
Kingston
guess.
was
Yeah,
one of the most over baby faces in the entire business. At that time, 2020, Vince was still in charge. So that was a banger show, and Eddie Kingston was mega over. All right. Kenny Omega in 2021, Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page.
that was huge.
Huge, massive. Probably one of the biggest main events ever.
Can I just pause you real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to say I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm not going anywhere with this.
Keep going.
John Moxley versus MJF, World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
All right, MJF versus Jay White.
Eh.
It's hard.
Remember,
It's
this is also their B show though.
And then John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy this year.
Oh, and there it is.
It just went down, just like AEW's ratings, but just fine. It is what it is. But Chris, are you excited? My point is this, and I'm sorry I messed everything up. It's been a long day. Are you actually excited for this freaking storyline? Did you hear our enthusiasms about the Bloodline and how happy we were, and it can go anywhere? Then you go to AEW. Their main event is Moxley's going to win 1, 2, 3.
So the Bloodline storyline is definitely the better one out of if we're comparing these two for sure. But I thought one thing that you would like about this is, are we finally getting a different Orange Cassidy?
No. And I'll tell you why. Hold on. Moxley cuts this terrible promo last night where literally Clutch, it was so dead silent. Someone screamed and you heard them, "Go back to Roman." Not even joking. Not even joking. That's how we roll over there on Wednesday nights. It's fine. We deal with it.
He can be the fifth man.
Listen, hey, we're over.
There you go. Wild card there.
We're over here loving WWE and telling you how awesome it was, but guess what, Clutch? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even 2 years ago, it was the total shits and it was unwatchable. So things can turn around.
Yep.
Things can turn around. So I still have faith in AEW. They have the talent. They just don't have the leadership.
I told you, I was telling, last week's show when Clutch was out? All they got to do is they got to drop all the ROH one-off matches, drop all the New Japan one-off matches, and use that time to build their storylines. I mean, could you imagine if right now in the middle of the Bloodline storyline, instead of building it like they did this past week, what if they just had a random Tozawa shows up on SmackDown and he's going to fight Roman? No storyline, and it's going to just pause and delay that whole storyline for a week. Like, they don't do that because it's not a good idea, and that's what AEW is doing, is they're putting aside all their own storylines to do these one-off quote-unquote dream matches, which that was cool in the beginning, but that was like, 3 years ago that was cool and fun, and it's overdone now at this point. Use your allotted showtime on your stories rather than these one-off matches that go nowhere.
I agree with that. And Christopher in the chat, Orange Cassidy, he says Orange Cassidy is not going to be a pushover against Moxley. Listen, it's going to be a banger match. Like Orange Cassidy, you might not like him, Clutch. I enjoy his matches. I know it gets tiring, the kicks and the hands in the pocket and the kip up and this everything. It's the same. If you've seen one Orange Cassidy match, you've seen them all.
But I don't think he doesn't seem like he's going to be doing that for this match, though.
No, I hope not.
That he will.
Because I think he's an amazing performer. I love watching his matches.
He's really good in the ring.
It's just I don't think he's the right one they should be targeting as the babyface. I think it should be someone a little bit bigger, not size-wise, just like if it was just Darby Allin. He's a bigger star, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but Darby Allin's a bigger star, same size. If this was Darby, but we've seen this before. We've seen Darby before. It seems like in AEW, people just work with the same people over and over again. We're going to see the Bucks come back as baby faces and fight the Death Riders. Guess what? We just saw this, but the roles were reversed like 4 or 5 months ago, and we just saw this. Remember that feud, Chris? The BCC versus the Elite? We just saw it.
Yeah.
Now the roles are going to be reversed, and it's going to be nothing. It just seems like the same people work with the same people. No one ever branches out. It's been Adam Cole and Roddy and these guys forever. Eddie Kingston and Moxley's like been a 4-year thing. they just all work together and nobody really expands. It just drives me nuts. Why can't we see the Hurt Syndicate versus the Elite? Why can't we see anything else go on? It's always the same goddamn people.
Well, for the Hurt Syndicate, they just
I know they just got there. I know.
That was the terrible example. They just showed up.
How about this, Chris? How about this? They show up, and instead of showing up, hell, Christopher Daniels like, hey, we need help or something. Remember when Christopher Daniels was a boss? Remember that?
Yeah, for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they could have just introduced like, hey, these guys are going to come help us take down the Death Riders instead of 120-pound man. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be a great match. Like I said, it's not buying it. I'm just not buying it. So we go into the main event where Moxley does this promo where he's talking about what he talks about. He's taking over the world, taking over TBS. This is my company, blah, blah, blah. And then Orange Cassidy comes out. Black. I like the new outfit. It fits his vibe, but he's just like,
yep.
Hello. Like he's so taught, like he's not. I didn't believe a goddamn word he said. I didn't believe anything he said. He didn't. Did you like that promo or just more like a lazy like him? Hello. The fuck is that, dude?
I didn't see it as a lazy promo, his sloth style. You know, I thought it was something different where he's just so pissed off. He can't even talk. He's just so mad right now.
Yeah.
At his boy Chuck. I know you're also very heartbroken over Chuck.
Chuck is eating his meals out of a straw, and then half the crowd's like, who the fuck is Chuck? remember when you were at the WWE event and the mom's like, what is Uzi? What does Uzi mean?
Yeah, the whole family that was sitting in front of me. What does Uzi mean?
And
why do they keep like, saying they're feeling Uzi?
They're probably like, who the fuck is Chuck? Who the fuck is that guy?
I think it was just him being mad, and he's so pissed off that his buddy got hurt and, you know, seriously injured in that chair shot thing.
Yeah, I know.
Which I thought that was weird that they did that so far removed from whenever it was already announced that like his in-ring career was over. Because like, what was he doing back in the ring? I thought that was a little bit of a weird placement of that. But I guess a way for them to go back and wrap that up, the end of his career, in-ring career.
So Christopher in the chat says Darby Allin's going to take the AEW championship from Moxley. So that means Cassidy's going to lose, which we all think that's true. I'm just not. I hope Darby does. I think Darby's a world champion. I think he is going to be a world champion. I think he's got that Jeff Hardy vibe. I think he connects with the fans. I'm even starting to like him. Clutch, you can say you don't like him, but it's fine. I know you do. I understand. If he was in NXT, you'd think he is the great. Do you like Darby? I know you don't like Orange Cassidy. Do you like Darby?
I do like Darby because I paid attention to some of the stuff he did because of his connection to Sting, and I saw Sting's last like match and stuff like that. So yeah, I like Darby. Okay,
so I can believe that happening. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I think it's going to be someone bigger, someone like. But Darby's a huge face in that company.
He is.
That's a good question, Chris. If not Darby, who should take it from Moxley? Who should save the company? I have a prediction, and I think it's going to happen.
Let's hear it.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
It's going to be Kenny Omega. But it doesn't – how they get there is going to be difficult. Because Kenny Omega, if you think about it, there from day one, he's a baby face. Last time we saw him, he's a baby face. Everyone loves him. It will bring casual fans back because we've heard the name Kenny Omega for years. Think about when he was on top. AEW was literally on top. AEW was –
that was my favorite time for AEW when he was champion.
So when Kenny Omega comes back, I can see him taking it. But if it's with the help of the Elite, I can't buy it because the Elite put him on the shelf. The Elite put him in the ambulance. The Elite destroyed Kenny Omega. They fired Kenny Omega.
Yep.
And the whole point of was Kenny Omega is, I'm a VP, I'm an EVP as well. And that was his whole story. And now he's going to get taken out. And now the Bucks are they got to fix that. They got to make sure everything makes sense. And I don't have faith they would because look at the Adam Cole MJF situation. They just men in blacked us and said, oh yeah, you guys forgot that all this happened, right? You guys forgot? Okay, cool. Thought you were going to say something?
No, I was laughing at that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm laughing to myself because I just remember Adam Cole, that picture I showed you of coming out looking like a Simpsons character.
Stop.
He looked like a Simpsons character.
Stop. Yeah, he did. But I still like Adam Cole. I watched that match with Takeshita and I thought it was good. I thought the right person won. I was so afraid that Cole was going to win that match. I'm glad he didn't. In case you didn't know the final, Takeshita won. He should have too. He's the champion. He's an international champion. He's a major heel, and he needed to cheat. The whole reason why MJF gave him the ring in the first place, you would figure, is to use it. And they used it. If he would have kicked out of that, I think I would have turned the TV off. I don't
No.
know if did you watch that full match, Chris?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Did you have the same thought as me? I'm surprised. I'm surprised he lost because it's AEW, right?
Yeah, that's why I was surprised. I was happy with it, but I was surprised by it because I thought for sure they were just kind of building through the typical got to get through all my goons and then you do and then you get your match and
Yeah.
so
But the thing
I
is
was glad they did something different.
Takeshita's not a goon. He's a star. And
Yeah.
he should be treated as one.
Well, I just say goons in the sense of
I
that's
know.
been MJF's thing is you got to get through my gauntlet of people.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Where was I going? I don't know where. Oh, the action where Clutch saw. Clutch doesn't watch AEW, so it's going to be great. So you saw the action when Darby jumped off the second story or whatever, the upper level, whatever it was. You saw that part?
Yeah, I just saw that guy fly into the truck and I was laughing my ass off.
You mean Darby or
Whoever flew into the back of that truck? I think it was Darby.
Well, they both did. Well, Wheeler Yuta at the very end was like, yeah, jumped in, let's go, guys. But yeah, Darby Allin just jumps in the back.
Yeah, it was Darby. It was Darby, definitely.
Dude, that was a wicked bump that he took when Claudio. That's how long guys, I have not watched an episode of Dynamite from start to finish in months, so I'm sorry. Apologize. But when he did the swing and shoved him into the door, I thought that was awesome. That's Darby Allin. That is peak Darby Allin. He doesn't give an F. He barely even covered his head. What a psychopath. Chris, did you like that?
Yeah, it was really good. And it was a really good spot. But that's what Darby is, man. He could just get beat up all the time and he could take it and he's just fine. I don't know how he does half of the things that he does and doesn't walk away injured all the time.
Do you like that it is like not just Orange Cassidy, it's also Darby helping out with the cause because he's pissed off at Moxley as well because of what happened, took a spot. Like, I like that they're using both baby faces against the Death Riders right now. But do you see Yuta ever changing sides? Because you saw it. I know you did. And maybe you didn't see this, Clutch. When Orange Cassidy challenged Yuta to a match or said he's going to beat him up, whatever he said, you just talking shit. You just like, oh, and Claudio just looks at him like, shut up. Stop talking, Yuta. Did you see that? Did you hear that?
I did not catch that. So you think he's going to eventually turn on them?
I'm not saying I think so, but if he did, would that be impactful enough for anyone to go, wow, Wheeler Yuta is now a best friend again? That's what I'm saying, Chris. They're not using the big stars they should to push this story. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's
no,
all.
I agree.
If Wheeler Yuta turns, it'd be like Tozawa turning on his buddy Otis, and nobody would give a nobody would care. Would you care, Clutch? You're a WWE guy. If Tozawa just turned on Otis, you would be like, "Oh, I can't wait for this match."
I mean, they're both in catering right now, so not really.
Unfortunately, man. Unfortunately, Otis needs to get on TV. I think Otis is great on TV.
He was so over.
Yeah, what happened with that? That's one of the biggest fumbles in Triple H's era. Is the whole Chad Gable situation. We thought he was going to the moon, baby. Next thing you know, he gets shot in the head by the Wyatt Six, and he's never recovered. He's never recovered. Honestly, he's never recovered. We thought he was going to get this big bad heel group with the Diamond people. What are they called in NXT? What were they called? The Diamond Mine.
Diamond Mine. The Creed brothers, basically.
Yeah, but weren't they in that stable?
Yeah, they were. Diamond Mine with Roddy.
Yeah, so we thought that they were going to be a big thing. Dude, they're just jobbers now. And Otis is in catering. We thought Otis was going to get this huge babyface run of him getting beat down by the Creeds. Nothing happened. Someone needs to study that as well. All right, so we're getting a little late into the show. That's why the main topic. We're getting into it 40 minutes into it. I'm going to start with Clutch. WWE. What do you think is the most, I guess, important or best storyline in the company history? Is it going on? Are we witnessing it right now?
I said, because you asked this question and I was debating whether you meant my favorite or just biggest in general.
Both.
So I made a list of 3.
Okay.
And probably the top of my list is, and I know the older generation might hate me for it, it is the Bloodline. I think it is the biggest in like company history because it's been so long at such a high level multiple main events through WrestleMania because of Roman, and multiple versions of it while staying on top all the time, whether it's the Sammy stuff, or now with Roman coming back as a baby face. He started off obviously as a heel champion for 3 years. Yeah, I think it's the Bloodline. My second one was, and it is a close second, it's Austin McMahon, because I think that just shaped the generation of like wrestling. Of like guys wanted to like beat up their boss because they saw it on TV. So I think that like that's a cool thing. But like when I was thinking like personally, like my like favorite, but it was a short buildup, was Undertaker Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Leading up, but specifically because the better match was WrestleMania 25, obviously, but the lead up to 26 was the most elite storytelling I've seen from a short-term storyline, like because it was like from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, but really good stuff. And that's the first thing that came to mind when I thought favorite, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't hate that. You didn't name one of my top three, which I won't give it away. Chris, do you have any input on the WWE? I'm sure you do. You were a WWE guy back in the day.
I was back in the day, and I maybe still be again someday soon. So I looked back in the chat because we were talking about what did you say? Did you say most important? Whatever. You said biggest. That was the word you used. What was the biggest storyline? And I'm going to have a little bit of a split answer, just like Clutch did. So as far as how we're going to define the biggest, if it's most important storyline for the company, then I would have to also say Austin McMahon, because of the battle they were having with WCW for supremacy back then, and that really fueled them a lot. And like he said, that defined generation. That was the pinnacle of WWE when wrestling was huge back in the 90s. So I definitely think that one was, and like you go talk to anybody, casual people that don't even, they know that storyline. They heard of it. They remember Austin and McMahon. So you could make an argument for that one being the biggest storyline. And like Clutch mentioned on the other side, maybe overall their best storyline, maybe this Bloodline one, because it's been going on for as long as it has. And it got stale for a little bit, but they've now that, especially with Triple H running everything, they've kind of found ways to refreshen the storyline, keep it interesting. There's so many layers to it. If you go back and think about it, all these different layers of side stories and things going on. So that one definitely has to be in the conversation for sure, for its own reasons though. So you could make an argument for either one.
I think it's an era thing, as in we're a little bit older than Clutch, so the Vince McMahon stuff and Stone Cold stuff, not that it doesn't mean as much as to you, but we lived that. That was our middle school. We would go to school and talk about what happened. And it was a big thing. Oh, did you see Austin? He put, cement and whatever. Oh, did you see Austin? Oh, man, The Rock's doing that. It was a big thing, going to school every day, talking to your friends on Tuesday. Huge. We don't really get that on, well, I guess we get Twitter, which, whatever. Blue Sky, buddy. We're Blue Sky guys now over here. Yeah, so let me ask you this. Do you guys consider the Undertaker streak a storyline? WrestleMania streak? Dude.
A storyline? I don't know that I consider it a storyline.
For our longest time, it was who's going to beat my streak, or I want your streak. I consider that a huge storyline. And I think that's a huge WrestleMania storyline. I'm not saying it's the best, or I'm just getting your guys' opinion on it, because I think this is a huge story.
I think it's hard to view that as a storyline because it was only something that I remember, unless I'm wrong, but it's only talked about, or it was only brought up right around WrestleMania season. So to have something be an important thing for 2 months, maybe 3 months, and then it cools off for 9 months, that's kind of hard to consider that a storyline in the same sense of these, because yes, they might have their pauses and their breaks, but they're on more than they're off with these stories.
Let me ask you again, Clutch. You can answer this because I'd prefer your answer.
Sure.
This guy's always combating me. No. So just randomly, what are the biggest matches you're like, man, that should have went the other way? That shouldn't have happened that way. But what's the top number one thing, or maybe top 3 things that go off the top of your head?
Like just like match
finishes. Yeah,
result.
finishes. Yeah, match results. That
Uh,
shouldn't have happened. Like John Cena shouldn't have beat the Nexus or something like that.
that's actually a big one for me because I
Yeah,
think the Nexus could have been huge.
it's a big one for me too.
Yeah. I think maybe off the top, Cody at WrestleMania 39. I think it should have happened then.
That was the right choice, but okay. That was the exact right
At the
choice.
time, I was so pissed. I
was
was
so
so
happy.
mad.
I was
But
so
like
happy. I
the
was smiling
payoff
at
to
all you
Cody
guys.
made it worth it.
I was smiling at all you Cody crybabies before Cody crybabies was a thing. I
No,
was
but
laughing at all y'all.
to
No,
your
but
point, I think you're talking about Brock.
yeah, it's Brock and Taker,
Yeah.
dude. People will bring that up nonstop. It might be one of the biggest matches ever, but it ended one of the biggest stories ever. The streak was brought up every year.
Mhm.
Literally every year of my life, I've heard of the streak. And when it ended, it was a huge blow. I mean, one dude got famous off it. I don't know who that guy is, obviously,
Yep.
but we all know who it is, right? If we
Yeah.
all make that face,
Yep.
we know what we're talking about. That's what makes it. I'm not saying it's up there with McMahon and the Bloodline, but I'm saying it could be talked about, but it's just a little twist. Now let's go to the AEW side. It's been a very short run there. Not many stories coming out these days. Chris, is there one story that sticks out to you was like, this is AEW, this is the story?
So my favorite one, and the one that I feel was the biggest, and it was prime AEW, it has to be the character arc that went with Hangman Adam Page and everything that he had going on with the Elite, all the segments, all of the twists and turns. And even we used to talk about that a lot way back in the day, like the little subtle things that they would even sprinkle into that story. Like, this is great whenever something's going on in the foreground and you see Hangman in the background just kind of peeking out from the back or looking sad, like these little touches that they would put on it. And I think that set the standard for AEW right out of the gate. And I think that's part of the problem. It was hard to ever live up to that right now because that was such great storytelling and it went a long time. And they found ways to, with Hangman's character development, put it in the front, kind of have him off to the side, but he was always developing. So anything around Hangman and the Young Bucks and the Elite, that whole storyline, I think, was the best one that they've had so far.
I agree 1000% because we talked about this many times. That went beyond AEW television. That was being the Elite. That was their project. That was their story. Yep. To me, AEW, and I finally figured out, I always told you guys, maybe Clutch didn't hear this. AEW is like a person that wrote a really good book. Really good book. Like they wrote Harry Potter. And their follow-ups have just all been bombs. So I finally figured out who Tony Khan is. He's M. Night Shyamalan. He made The Sixth Sense. Everyone loved The Sixth Sense. And then he made 20 bad movies afterwards. But he's still getting to make movies because of The Sixth Sense. He had the story with Omega and Hangman. That was their tag team run. Like everything about it. He's drinking beers after victories. Kenny Omega's drinking milk. They got the whole everything. The broken mirrors. I remember that story as in the same kind of sense as I remember Austin and Vince. It's true. I will always remember that Hangman story. And that's it. And people are saying this is the story that's going to save them. The Jon Moxley takeover, NWO, Death Riders is going to save the company, and it's doing nothing. They need to hone in to what they did there, that magic they had in 2020, 2019. That was prime wrestling to me. That was the best wrestling I've seen in years.
It was. But again, they had plenty of time on the show. They weren't doing these one-off matches with random people. They were focused on their storyline. They can tell good stories.
Christopher doesn't appreciate Charlotte Flair ending the undefeated streak.
That's a good one.
That's great. I don't appreciate it either. We don't appreciate Charlotte on this show at all.
Nope.
None of us do. We're all happy she's gone. But yeah, that is going to be the show. Was there anything else I missed?
Didn't even ask me for my favorite AEW.
You don't fucking know. What are you gonna say? Hold on. Orange Cassidy Jericho orange juice match.
The mimosa match.
It's still going on today. Chris Jericho still hasn't recovered his money. No. Clutch, what did you have you
No.
first off, let me ask you this. This is a dead serious. Have you ever watched 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock straight through on Dynamite?
No. But I did have one thing on my list because I did see bits and pieces, and that's a lot. That's a lot for me. Which
So
was the MJF Punk thing.
okay. Yeah. It was great. It was definitely the second greatest feud in AEW history. I think Kenny Omega and Kenny Omega and Hangman are number one. But yes, the Punk MJF stuff was excellent. You can't. That's right there. That's big league stuff. That's stuff you would see on Monday night or Friday night, not on Wednesday night nowadays. So yes, I appreciate that answer. Chris, did you like that one? You're a big Phil fan. You love Phil.
Am I a big Phil fan?
You should be. He's awesome. He's great. He
it
is.
was good. It was good. He was really good on the mic. You got MJF really good on the mic. They're both good in the ring. It was definitely good.
I think the potential was there. By the way, this is an also ran. The potential was with MJF and Adam Cole was there. The potential was there. The execution, the ending, obviously the injury sucked. It all flopped. But man, they really had something going there with MJF turning babyface. That's the first time we've ever seen MJF as a babyface ever. Period.
Yep.
And it worked because he's just a professional. He's the best wrestler on their TV show.
Yeah.
So Charlotte Flair is coming back. Yes, Christopher. Unfortunately, it's going to be her and Nia for the title of the Queen, and that's when I'm going to go to the bathroom at WrestleMania. That's when I'm gonna. I hope it's on night 2 because I usually only night 1 is a banger every single year. Night 2 is always the slacker show to me. Maybe I'm wrong. You know why though, Clutch? So I know you don't watch that shit live because they set the bar. Like, all right, now top us. And I don't think night 2 ever does. I don't think night 2 ever tops night 1.
I think by default, because of the moment, 40 was different because obviously the culmination of the story, and it did top everything because that's everything everybody talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, you're right. Most of everything before that, it was night one. Even when Sasha and Bianca main event at night 1 for that one WrestleMania, it was the best match.
I was there.
Yep.
I cheered on my girl. I miss Sasha Banks. Where is she at? Where has she been? Where has Sasha Banks been? She's been missing from wrestling for like 5 years now. We miss Sasha Banks. I should have ended the show like that. But I don't want to do guys like that. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Christopher, thank you for joining us tonight. Justin Toner, I see you in the chat as well. To everyone else that's watching, whether it's X, YouTubes, I see a lot of people on the X. Make sure you go to our YouTube, subscribe to Finn's Talk Sports Network. We're here every single Thursday night, breaking down WWE, AEW. You can make sure you follow me on Saturdays too. I team up with Bobby. Oh, fudge. Now that Chris is here, because I know Clutch has seen this, me and Bobby did a draft, a Legends draft.
Oh,
and I want and I'm going to share with you guys who I drafted and versus who we drafted. It was a snake draft. You could not pick tag teams, and they had to be legends. So if you wanted a tag team, you better pick them back to back. So first, I'm going to share Bobby's picks. Let's see if this works. There we go. And it's all in order. He drafted these guys in order. So it went from Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, and then he worded his wrong. All of his is weird. So then he went Brock Lesnar. He's got Bray Wyatt. And these are all the eras, by the way, Chris. You have to, these are the people that you get him in. So he got Shawn Michaels in that era. He got Brock Lesnar in that, like what picture you see. He got CM Punk pipe bomb era. All right. So keep that in mind. Terry Funk.
He's got The Rock.
He's got The Rock.
Stone Cold, The Rock. And these are his guys?
Yeah, these are his picks. These are his legends.
Pretty sure you already lost.
Yeah,
but let's see what
now
you
get ready for the polar bear in Arlington, Texas.
How did I lose? First off, all right, let's go see my picks in the chat. Tell me if my picks are better because they are. All right, so we got Chris Jericho, first pick overall, baby. Lionheart, Chris Jericho. We got the Rated R Superstar Edge. Can't beat that. Yes Movement, Daniel Bryan. I could have got sneaky and went Bryan Danielson as well, but I'm not going to do that. I went with the Outsiders, NWO. I did go out and get Charlotte. Okay. Sorry. I went Becky Lynch as well. Rey Mysterio, WCW. Randy Orton, Legend Killer. OTC. Mankind, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. Triple H, the game version. Nikki Bella. Don't talk, Clutch.
It's so dumb.
She was really good with the
That's
rack
when you
attack.
officially lost the draft.
Stop. Bailey. I got Big Papa Pump. I got belt collector Kenny Omega, who's literally a first-round pick. AJ Styles, WWE version. Chris Benoit. Sorry, can't say his name. China, better than any woman he has. Mr. McMahon, Roddy Piper, Batista. I had to throw Hacksaw Jim Duggan because somebody said I looked like him once. Lex Luger. I forgot who that lady is. Just kidding. Scale Kim. Andre the Giant, Mark Henry, and of course, to steal the draft. This is not American
Was he the last
Nightmare.
pick?
Yes, he was the last pick. This is not the Cody Rhodes you see now crying on TV about his daughter, his kid, his dad. This is AEW startup smashing thrones AEW. Cody Rhodes smashing the thrones. You want to F on me, refs? That's what Cody Rhodes I got. I didn't get no pussy ass. Sorry, Bobby. Crybaby Cody. So who won, Chris?
So if that was the order of everything on both of y'all's, I was trying to follow, was the order going up and down, left to right?
It doesn't matter.
Seems like a combination. I just like to say the steal of the draft was not Cody. It was The Rock. He was way too far down the list. A huge steal for Bobby. The reach of the draft at 101 has to be Chris Jericho. He's like a third or fourth round pick. You overspent on him. Man, Bobby just mopped the floor with you on this one.